Bonsoir, mes amis. Here we go, Saturday night rugby. Yeah, normally on a Thursday, but we thought big Courts and Anthony signing for sale. Big game in the playoff hunt for the barrage. Thought we'd bring you this one, and these are some of the games that are coming up on FR UK. Double bubble next week, Thursday and Friday, and that Mont-de-Marsan-Dax game, one of the fiercest rivalries in rugby. And there's relegation on the line. And just a reminder, we're taking this right through to one team playing to win a place in the top 14. The playoffs begin on the 22nd of May. We are in Oyonnax this evening. Right, this is a big one. 6th plays 5th. And the barrage spots are nearly nailed down, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot more to play for because Brive and Oyonnax will be looking up at 3rd and 4th spot. They want to get themselves further ahead. This is the final game in round 26 of Pro D2. Some big results across the weekend at both ends of the table. And it's getting very tight at the top and very, very tight at the bottom. The biggest game, really, I think the result of the round, Valence Roman staying the course and beating Coulommiers. That means that Van have clear gap between them. Look at that. They look pretty inevitable at this moment in time. And Valence have closed that gap to 6 points. And that's exactly the same gap down to Brive, who will be looking at 3rd spot thinking that could be theirs. But look at the bottom of the table. How spicy is that relegation result? It looks like Carcassonne might be at the bottom, but 4 or 5 teams could get dragged into it. And look at this. This is French 2nd Division rugby. And this is how it goes at this level. This is why we acquired. This is why we bring you live rugby every Saturday night. And the Oyo team arriving with their home fans. And at this point, I'll just say bonsoir to Joe Worsley. How you doing, mate?
Hello. I'm good. I'm enjoying watching the walk into the stadium. Oyonnax is a big town, little city. Big town, we could say. Really close to the Alps. Very different spirit, real kind of mountain valley spirit. Very proud of their team, as you can see from the guys walking in.
On the chat already, this makes it a 4th live game of rugby that Andrew Johnson has seen today. Look, we normally do a Thursday night. There weren't any of those this week. Oh, we just saw someone in his budgie smugglers, I think, there for a second. We had the option of potentially a Friday, but the Bath Northampton game we banked was going to be an absolute banger, and it was. And look, Courtney Laws has announced this week that he is going back to English rugby, playing for Sale Sharks, and he is playing tonight. We can have a look at whether he's still got it. As Kerwin Bosch, South African international, walks into the dressing room for the visitors, Brive. And it's been a mixed season. They've just gathered a bit of form lately, but a disappointing season so far for Brive, you'd have to say, Joe.
Yeah, it's been drama, different coaching staff coming in, new guys starting, Patat from Bayonne next year. So it's been topsy-turvy behind the scenes, but the squad is really good. They're effective, is very good. They've got a big budget and they spend it on quality players. So as a result of that, even this team tonight is pretty smashing. A lot of internationals in there, and there's a number of guys who aren't even playing. They can rest and rotate. Very powerful squad, and you'll see that in the way they play. They're not as fluid as Coulommiers. They're not as fluid as Van. 2 teams that need to play fast, need to play a quicker form of rugby, because Van and Brive have the physical power to nullify the game. And I think what we're going to see tonight is Brive using again that physicality to wear down the opposition. And what they have needed to do, and what they've started to do a little bit now, is the attack behind it starting to score points, starting to click. They've had a lot of changes in how they've coached it and what they've done. And tonight, hopefully, we'll see an attack continuing to improve.
If you appreciate the fact that there's free live rugby, not behind any paywall. Apologies for the language. Why am I apologising for the language? I'm not bothered. It's YouTube. This is the beauty of it. Do you think that was Courtney Laws?
I think Courts was letting loose there,
yeah. I've never heard Courts like that. We never get to hear Courts like that. Right, let's have a look at the teams. I was going to say, drop a little thumbs up on the video, please. And why don't you drop the link to this game in a WhatsApp group with your rugby mates? They'll appreciate you for it. Free live rugby on a Saturday night. Uzair Kassiem, this is the kind of game he was signed for, the big number 8.
Exactly.
Who they signed from Bayonne, former South African international, and they want him to be a talisman this evening. And look out for Danny Tuala in the back line as well, signed from Moana Pacifica. And there's some quality players on the bench for Oyonnax, and that they will be thinking they're going to take an 11th home win out of 13 it will be if they manage to win this evening. But it's a strong Brive team. Look at that. Jamie Shilcott, John Cooney, very familiar names. Courtney Laws, of course, Kerwin Bosch, and a couple of youngsters in the centre, Georgian and a South African. So it's all nations represented, and some good players on the bench as well. An Argentinian tight head prop on the bench. Says everything about this league and this team. Here we go, the light show, Joe. French do it best, don't they?
They do. I mean, the stadiums these days is not quite the same as Sudbury or Loftus Road back in the day when we ran out. Some cheerleader who weighed 32 stone cheering your way on. I'm not sure. It's all changed. It's all changed now. And even in Oyonnax, even in Pro D2, they have some sort of show on before, some sort of build-up, and yeah, it's cool. This is such a massive game. I'm sure we're going to see a passionate crowd, more passionate than normal, because for Oyonnax, really, they got to win this one. Brive, they've got to win this one to try and have any hope of getting to third position. Because, guys, if you've got to go to Van in a semi-final and play a semi-final there, I'm not sure you're going to come away with a victory. So everyone's trying to avoid that situation. So the semi-finalists will be 1 and 2. So Van are going to be number 1. Number 2, in all likelihood, is going to be Colomiers. So everyone's battling to get to that third spot. At Colomiers, there's probably more chance of winning a semi-final. So everyone's desperate to get that spot and not have to go to Van and win there.
Well, they've only seen their team lose a couple of times this season at home, and they're not planning on this being a third. They've got the artificial surface, and I tell you what, Oyonnax, they have been absolutely killing it in their last few home games. 173 points in the last 3 matches here. They've been tearing it up, and so a big challenge for Brive. The Rouge et Noir make their way to the tunnel. And were they punching well above their weight, Joe, when they were in the top 14 a few years back?
Not really, because their budget was pretty good for the time. It's evolved in the last few years. So there are many, many more teams on a similar budget to them. It's why Pro D2 is so much better than it was. They were a team with a decent budget, but yeah, the year they got to the playoffs, that was an exceptional year, and that is them punching well above their weight.
Access all areas in French rugby. Love them for it. This is a big one.
It's called a nuquette when you get whacked on the back of the head like that.
Maybe that's why there's so many rugby players with mullets, just to soften the blow.
Yeah, definitely. Especially that massive island of props, one smashing you in the back of the head.
Like gladiators, just waiting to go into the arena. There's Anthony Coletta, about to lead his Brive team out onto the turf. Big Courts comes out. Nearly go time.
Mate, one player to watch today is the Fijian winger for Brive, Tui Tavaka. Literally every time he plays, something's going to happen. Exceptional hits. When he carries like an old school rugby league player, just dead straight. It's always physicality-wise interesting around him.
Well, I'm going to be interested, as you were a international and World Cup winning blindside flanker, I want you through this game to assess how close Courtney Laws is to the level required to be an England international once again, and maybe have a crack at adding a gold medal to his silver and bronze at Rugby World Cups.
Game on.
And get stuck in the comments if you've got a question for Joe Worsley or any thoughts. I'll pepper the game with your input. But we're away at the Stade Charles Mathon in Oyonnax. First exit from Brive does not make touch. Are you going to see plenty of this guy this evening, Uzair Kassiem? Had a little bit of a stumble as he carried, but they recycle, come down the left. And as I mentioned a moment ago, Oyonnax have really opened up their attacking game in recent weeks. They did have a run of 5 straight wins a couple of months back. They've not been playing at that level. But at this place, they are a match for anyone in the division. And the first kick to contest is won by Cyriac Guili. Another kick goes to the right.
Well read by Zen on that kick.
Yeah.
Ruru, such an exceptional player when he sees things other players don't see, but Zenon saw it that time, saw what he's trying to do, and did cover that very well.
Horn section are in voice already.
I think probably the Brive team is shut, even though it's a turnover situation. There was a lot of space out there. If they manage to get that pass, I think Ruru will regret not passing that one.
Oyonnax. Inside ball from Danny Tuala. They come back for the penalty. Jonathan Ruru's got his hands on the ball.
Yeah, so the Brive team got penalised there. The line-out, they had 2 real airs, which is the player outside the line-out.
Look at this. Look at this from outside the 22. A tap and go. That is like unheard of.
It was a free kick.
Oh, was it? Sorry, I thought it was a full pen. Thank you, Joe. I thought that was a bit odd. That's a full pen.
He never got round to showing the broken arm. Yeah, for having 2 real airs, it's a free kick. But Court's got penalised there. Let's have another look at that. I think he was a tackler who didn't get away. Court's had a little dabble on the ball. Referees are very, very hard on that at the moment. So the tackler's lying there. Courts is on the ball. So anytime there's a tackler anywhere near the opposition side of the ball, and then you contest, then you're going to have to be very, very careful about contesting like Courtney contested there. Otherwise, you can take a penalty. Right in front of the sticks, won't be ideal.
Yeah, I think you're right. The actual jackal from Courtney would have been absolutely fine if Henko Fenter had just cleared the area.
Yeah, but this is where, especially early in the game, you've got to be careful. Now Courtney be thinking in his head, the referee's harsh on me there, he's hard on me. I'm going to have to maybe adjust my parameters around when I contest. Because that one was harsh. Venter was trying to get out of the way. It's just Courtney was so quick onto that ball. But Venter was still in the way. And they think you're in the way, you're slowing down the support players from getting there. Penalty it's going to be.
First blood for Oyonnax. Zach Holmes. I mean, he's played at some clubs, hasn't he? Bordeaux, Toulouse and La Rochelle. He's pulling the strings. Well, how would you describe the part of France that Oyonnax is? Because it's sort of central on the east, over near the
It's very much the mountains.
The mountains,
bears running around.
Yeah.
Bears running around town sometimes. It's very much in the mountains.
Are there actually bears? There's bears in France?
Yeah, there are. They reintroduced them, I think, a few years back. And
they've talked about rewilding in England. I don't want that. I like the fact I was always able to just send my kids out. Yeah, go on, off you go.
I went out in Manchester once and saw a bear. Actually, no, I was in Wigan.
No, there's a fair few bears in town, don't worry. Nick Crone going up for the catch and, well, knock on. I think he was looking to the referee to ask if he was taken out in the air.
Yeah, the opposition winger, the Oyonnax winger, he had taken off. He was coming down when he hit Crone. If you take off and go for the contest, then, like then, you're going to be okay. If you're on the ground and you touch somebody in the air, that's a different story. Then you're in trouble, which can escalate depending on how the guy falls.
One thing I appreciate about French rugby, Joe, is how it's very, very easy to spot the scrum coach.
Isn't it? I try to think of a thin scrum coach now, but is he hibernating all winter?
There's a fella that hangs around at Biarritz. If next time we have a game from Biarritz, there's the largest man I've ever seen. Just like 6'6" cube. It was unreal, but he was a tight head prop in his day. A penalty is the outcome of the first scrum for Oyonnax.
Yep, so the scrum coach is going to be very excited in the stands about that one. The Brive one less so.
It was Mako Vivas, I think, the Argentine on the tight head prop side for Brive. Abeladze.
Yeah, Abeladze, who grew up in Ireland and was formed by Leinster. we're on the wrong side of the scrum. Let's have another look now at what happened at that scrum. Again, not a great angle.
Yeah. Vivas just got right into him. Well,
It's tough to see.
having watched the game earlier, they went through comfortably, but he's not the only Leinster formed tight head prop that's had a tough day at the office.
Ooh, great Maldi.
Lovely Maldi from Brive. Earned themselves a line out on their own 22.
Yeah, gave them the front and then just shut the door on them. Smashed them in the back. Classic Maul defence. Right, see a Brive do the exit now. They got a couple of really good line-out forwards on the pitch. I'm thinking tonight the line-out should be pretty sweet.
Courtney Laws probably had another couple of feet in the throw, but he gets the ball anyway. Henko Fenter, another one of their signings for this season. There's been quite a few signings from the top leagues. There's another, John Cooney from Ulster. Cassiem again with the hard yards. Was held. Did not release.
That was really good. That was a really good exit set. Line out, yeah, it was a bit underthrown, so they're a little bit lucky winning that line out. Rip it out, quick ruck. The kick was a little bit short, you can say, but it was okay. First collision dominated. Second collision dominated penalty. That is exiting of the high quality.
Ok, ça marche. Si tu l'as vers toi, tu lui dis là.
He got penalised there after the tackle. He didn't release the ball and got up and started running it.
It's the extra length on that boot of Kerwin Bosch. It's Jamie Shilcock has been the main guy from the tee for Brive.
So weird seeing Bosch with hair. He had hair therapy in the summer. Now he's got this big little rug on.
That one strayed to the left, pulled across the face of the post. He certainly had the distance. That'll be a warning for Oyonnax, if nothing else. 3 caps for South Africa in his second season after joining from the Sharks. He was one of those like youngsters, those schoolboy level South African players that just tore it up. Thought he could have been a superstar. Never quite panned out to that potential. But he'll want to play in the top 14. Defensive line pretty well set from Brive, chasing. Is that going to bubble all the way along? Jamie Shilcock watches it across the dead ball line.
Well left.
Yeah.
You can see him thinking about it as it's flying through the air. Synthetic pitches, the ball can bounce a bit strangely sometimes, but well left. The trajectory was quite low. I'd imagine he deemed it would roll on. So let it bounce, then let it go. Massive result for them in that ping-pong battle.
There's the slot machine.
Allez, ici. Allez, gardez-moi juste bien l'axe. Bien là, et pas de pré-engagement. La marque. Apparemment, non, je vous l'avais dit déjà.
So pretty good bench at Oyonnax have got them. Got a depth in squad as well.
Yeah, they got a replacement scrum half with 91 caps to his name.
Exactly, Wesley.
Vasil Lobanidze, the Georgian.
Lobanidze, a fantastic.
Formerly of Brive as well. Yeah. Oh, another big scrum. That's a statement.
That is a statement. That's maybe a coaching change early doors coming up. Left hanging there, Cassim, unfortunately. But there's one dominated there. Dominated again. Let's have a look at what's happening. I want to get an angle from on top so we can get a good idea of what's going on. Is it a height factor? Is that loose head for Oyonnax getting so low that the Abeladze, the tight head for Brive, ends up in a weak position? Can't compete with the power coming through.
Well, Mako Vivas signed from Gloucester, 40 Argentinian caps. But actually, it's sort of his work around the park has been more impressive than his scrummaging. But on the basis of the first couple of scrums, he's laying a proper platform. What can they do? They win the line out this time. Cassiem back down the blind side from Ruru. Big shot. There are some names being taken already. Kevin Le Breton. Turnover ball. Brive go north with it. Look like they thought about going to the edge. Maybe this time. There are numbers. Defence equal to it. Ball inside. Oyonnax quick to set their defensive line again.
Oh, they get this on.
And Kofenta takes the gap. Third defender took him down. Now maybe they can pick a hole in the defence has had to move backwards and reorganise. They're calling for extra numbers on the right-hand side of that defence, Oyonnax. Can Brive exploit the space? Pass just a little bit behind. And the counter-ruck is on.
Ooh. That was an awesome sequence, guys. That was fantastic. Rugby from Brive. Their attack was flowing, going forwards, people picking and going and making great decisions. After a brutal tackle from Tuatavaka, Courtney got on the next ball, turned it over. Brive played their way up the pitch, but then one poor pass. Holds up Zenon, he gets smashed. The Oyonnax team sent that possibility of going for it, and boom, off they go. Coughing up a few metres as well. Not sure why. Wasn't listening to the ref then. Was it chatting back? Was it something else? I'm not sure.
Just caught a brief look at the world's #1 Lavani Bottia impersonator. There he is. That's the man that Joe mentioned earlier, Tuatavaka. He is a beast. Courtney Law's desperately trying to get through the middle of that, but it's well set by Oyonnax. Jonathan Ruru sets Danny Tuala in motion. Ball recycled quickly. Ruru snipes. Brought down on the 22. Was that knocked on? Play on. And Oyonnax have got a rumble on now. The ball is quick through the legs of Cassiem. Playing with confidence. Oh, it's nearly 15 minutes on the clock already. Physical. Oh. Some shots going in, you can hear them. Even above the brass band. Gathered at the second attempt. Ruru snipes, lifts. Vaotoa takes his 140 kilos to within 4 metres. Ruru lifts. Fantastic try. Lifting contact as he's falling.
Ruru that was a fantastic sequence of play. Again, now Ruru here, ghosting across, players running off, and the defenders slide out onto those players. Ruru sees a half, gets through, gets tackled from the inside on his legs, and just rolls up that ball off the floor. Beautiful. Beautiful play from Ruru. We're going to get a great angle from here. We see it happening now. Fantastic.
Oh.
Awesome.
And the way he gambled on the fact that Ruru would do that, that's a team in sync.
Yeah, I'm assuming there was support coming in from behind, communicating that French gift about supporting on the axe. I know we're talking about some players who weren't born in France. It's part of that French DNA. And Ruru there, the way that player slid off, couldn't get his body in front. Ruru gets through a half gap, lands on his back, heard the support, probably knew in his mind that mental image of players there for the support, popped it up. Awesome try.
Eddie Soelu and Brive find themselves 10-0 down. Will try and pin Oyonnax in the corner and get some territory that they just have not had. Only 3 wins on the road for Brive. Oh, really cheap penalty.
The ref had said no.
I don't understand the thinking there, Joe. Well, like, you're going to get a line out in a reasonable position, or you're going to get the ball back.
Yeah, I think the referee was blatantly saying no. He'd gone, he'd asked, got told no, and carried on going. Yeah, foolish. It doesn't matter if the ball's out or not, it's what the referee thinks. And he'll tell you.
Je regarde ça.
Vano Karkadze, another player formerly of Brive, gets the ball. Well, eventually it's found and recovered. Yeah, there's quite a few players that used to be from Brive in the Oyonnax team, just to make it a little bit more personal. Ruru, it's been really lively so far. Good length on that kick as well. Knock-on advantage, and can they break? Not able to flick it back.
Another Tuvaka smash there. Just the power and momentum he takes into hits. You see a powerful runner just getting slid into touch. Lucky for Brive, because if this ball stays on, they're in trouble. Here he comes now. Bam. That's a hit, guys. Look at that horizontal force you see going through that. It's American football-esque.
Look at where Brive are. Pinned in their own 22, not able to win the ball cleanly. Henko Fenta tidies. Cooney gets it to just beyond halfway. Nice exit.
Yeah, it's quality as well. And the brief chase, the chase line, very engaged, sprinting their way up, blocking any opportunities for the Oyonnax team to get that quick throw away. Because like we talked about, that Brive team have a number of good line-out forwards, intelligent line-out forwards. The pressure on the Oyonnax line-out is going to be intense.
It's going to get interesting now. 4 rounds of games to go. Battles at the top and bottom. Every point and even points difference could be interesting. Nick Crone ricochets back to John Cooney. He's under pressure, and another penalty for Oyonnax, who can open up a 13-point lead potentially. It was well chased by Paul Oredu, brother of Hugo at Pau.
Wonder who ate all the food in that family. But his ball stealing was quality here. You'll see the speed which we got onto. The slot machine fell over a bit early. Maybe he needs to stay on his feet for a bit longer. The chaos that comes out of these situations, so the ball gets tapped down, it falls for Brive. But if there's a good quality tackle and the guy goes to deck quickly, often he's isolated. Often there's an opportunity, a window. And the speed at which Oredu got into that was fantastic. Like his brother, who's a great ball stealer. He doesn't look too bad either.
Really impressed with Oyonnax so far. They just seem to have a bit of a hive mind at the minute, Joe. Just those moments.
Yeah, we've not watched them for a while. They were kind of very boring. They've been a team that have been playing pragmatic rugby for years. And it seems like they're coming out of that. Ruru being the exception is probably why he's starting and not Lobonadze, who's more of a steady away player. They're looking like a really good team. A team that's more rounded than they were before. We talked about all court teams, left, right and centre. Clomé attack too much, Oyonnax defend too much. They come back to a point at which they can attack, defend, kick. Both teams looking a lot better.
Tuifuaka chasing that one, trying to put in another monster shot. It's ridden well by... Not sure if that was Cassium again. Might have been Phoenix Batty, the big lock. Cohen Bosch tries to create something out of nothing. That's forward. Or was it Nick Crone with the pass?
It was, yeah. It's, the risk, I'm not sure. Those chip options, And someone like Jalibert can do it amazingly well. Even when Jalibert does it, he does it because there's space there to be had. That bounced slightly differently. It goes into an Oyonnax player's hands. It's you can really pay for that one badly.
Allez, on y va.
Maybe an indication that Brive are feeling like they have to force it a bit.
Yeah, if you're desperately, well, it's not a desperation tactic. He executed it quite well. But yeah, the chip followed by a massive 40-metre pass seems like you're rushing it a bit. Still 21 minutes gone. Chill, play your game, do that sort of thing at the bitter end if you need to.
Brive have not managed to build any pressure at this point, partly because, and we're about to see another scrum, partly because they've had scrum penalties against. And this Oyonnax defence has been pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll see this scrum this side. Look how low the loose head is for Oyonnax.
Yeah, Vivas.
Yeah, Vivas and his body height is phenomenal. His back's dead straight. So what bigger tight heads will do is come down to the same height of him and just pile all their weight on top of him. Oh, Tuvac has been, his gum shield, he's not happy about it. He's got to go off. His gum shield would have got rung. You saw off that kickoff, he was quite sheepish and crawled off, literally crawled out away from the tackle.
I'm not sure he's wearing. I'm not sure he's wearing a gum shield, but he wasn't having that. The doctor's obviously pulled it.
Rattled his brain. The doctor can do what he wants. There's no choice.
Question in the chat on how can you find out if when the games are? Because yes, there were no Thursday night games available, so we picked this one because we thought it was the best fixture and fitted best around the European matches that we're on. Well, why don't you subscribe to the channel and then, or just hit that notification bell, and then we'll tell you straight to your phone when we're going live.
Les deux en bas. Allez, la marque. De suite, s'il vous plaît.
What position does he coach? What do you reckon he coaches? Debati?
Any of your old, like everyone from your old World Cup winning team, they're in reasonable shape. I actually had a chat with Phil Vickery the other day, and he's shredded.
He is shredded. I mean, the fake tan helps, but he is unbelievably shredded, isn't he? Debati's gone the other way.
Another penalty. At what point do the coaches make a change?
In all honesty, I'd say now. Change it up. Change the tide of the penalties. You can bring him back on later in the game against a different prop. Somebody proposes different things. Currently, the way it's going, the ref's settled on the dominant Oyonnax scrum as being the one who's winning it, and has given them the rewards for that.
Yeah, in case you're not aware, as Joe kind of touched on there, there are rotations that are allowed, so you will get players that can. So if the Brive coach thought that Abdeladze has had his time for now, he can come off and go back on. It doesn't have to be due to an injury. So we'll watch that one as Tuala juggles and catches. Shot from Henko Fenter. He's been throwing his weight around this evening. Former Glasgow Warrior. Wonder if he watched the game earlier today with his old teammates. Fenter gets the ball from a counter ruck. Brive, opportunity to break out of their own 22. Get as far as their own 10-metre line. Anthony Coletta on the carry. Is that an Oyonnax player lying all over the ball? So penalty advantage. Looks like they might have numbers if they go left now. It does go out the back. The Oyonnax defence slides comfortably. Might be going back for the penalty advantage if they don't. Oh, here we go. Back we come. You're a defence coach. I'm just looking at that and thinking, oh, that seemed pretty well organised, Joe.
Yeah, they're looking relatively comfortable. Brive didn't really attack that well in those phases. No one pinned down people, stuck them, and then created space by dragging other defenders around. They needed to get some more go forward. I know it came from a turnover, but they advanced a bit, then the ball slowed down after a poor carry. And then slow ruck. When Venter carried the ball, it was like 3 seconds plus. They got into their formation, Oyonnax, and after that, they're really comfortable because the Brive team didn't really pin anyone down or recreate fast ball. So this is all good. Offload off the floor. And then after that, even passes like that, long passes, rather than him maybe attacking the space in front of him, pinning someone down and putting him through the hole, maybe that'd been a better option.
This feels an important moment. Underthrown again. Just as Brive get a bit of territory. The set piece lets them down once more. Courtney Laws could have just stood still and had a better chance of catching that, I think, without the lift. Cooney's, look at that, back inside his own half.
So they penalised 13. There was a knock-on during the contest. 13 is ahead of the ball. And because he went ahead and played the ball and played the guy trying to play the ball on the floor, Cooney, he was penalised. Another opportunity for Brive, provided this kick's any good.
It's not going to get into the 22.
No, that was
not his
poor
best nudge.
kick. That was a tough throw. See, one of the reasons Ruru's not picked some of his kicking historically has been poor. That's probably the first really bad one he's made tonight.
Under pressure again. Knock on there from Oyonnax, surely. Allowed it to go, yeah. Spotted by the assistant.
Yeah, the set piece of Brive is really under pressure. Again, this is where normally they're very strong. They're missing Van der Meer, a fantastic South African scrummager, who, when he plays, basically gives you a dominant scrum. He's been injured, did his Achilles. So they've missed him in terms of having the dominant scrum. You could say that some other props are maybe more mobile. But normally their line-out is, again, something that provides them with a lot of stability. Line-out historically has been something they've put a lot of emphasis on, maybe too much at times. But tonight it's not just firing. They've already had some key ball they've lost.
It's not a done deal at this point, but do you think whoever loses this one is
We've had a replacement there.
Oh, yeah. We have, haven't we? And that means it's two...
The whole front row. The whole front row.
The whole front row? Wow. Yeah. Well, what that means for Brive is we now have two Argentine internationals up against each other. Mako Vivas on the loosehead side and Francisco Correa Marchetti is the replacement tight head prop for Brive. We might well see Abdeladze, Reyes and Charcoset later, but the hooker possibly pulled for the line-out throw-in. The tight head prop, well, both props pulled for the scrum. Let's see if there's any difference in this one. Interesting.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a penalty
Marchetti.
as well.
Marchetti,
No.
penalty on the far side as well.
You saw him go down well before the loosehead.
I thought Correa Marchetti was trying to crawl through Vivas's
Let's
legs.
have another look at that. It was obvious from the angle we had. I'm assuming the touch judge called it. But he's getting so low, Vivas.
Yeah, I mean, that guy looks like he knows more than I know.
He was about to eat the fourth official.
Right, well, can Benjamin Boudou do any better with his line-out throwing? Line-out has been a mess for Brive so far. That's a bit more like it. Gets the jumper at the top. And this is where Brive have been able to go to town in Pro D2 this season. Held solidly by Oyonnax. Boudou looks right, looks left, breaks off, goes to 6 metres out. Anthony Coletta with hands on the ball. And this would be a result if Brive can come away with a score. The first time they've been this close to Oyonnax's line. The first time the men in red have been tested defensively. See if they're up for the physical test. As the replacement tight head prop makes his first carry, Henko Fenter, he has done nothing but carry, but goes backwards. Fresnel. Courtney Laws. Quick ball. We're going to come back for a scrum. Solid D.
That was solid D. I mean, Court's got a bit of a hospital pass, but he got waterboyed there. And then after that, they trying to play to the width after a poor ball, a poor quality ruck. Basically gives the defence time to get in position, time to get width, time to get ready in the blocks to get off the line, which they did there. And then trying to make intricate movements on the second pass, trying to flip it quickly out the back with the line speed coming against you. It's so difficult. They're lucky they got a knock on out of that one.
Yeah. If you don't win that first collision, it's pretty hard to do anything off the back of it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. In the 22, even more so. Just keep going until you get some sort of go forward. Then go to the space, be it close or wide.
What do you reckon?
Having a chat there.
What do you reckon he's saying?
Yeah, we're talking about the set piece for sure. I think he'll probably be concentrating on that. Because with regards to the rest of the game, then it's not been too bad. Some of the kick, sometimes maybe. No, honestly, some attacks have been average, but the attack and defense have been okay. Kicking game's been all right. It's been that set piece has been one of the big differences here.
Let's have a look at this scrum again.
How many times in England has the whole front row been taken off in the 25 minutes into the game?
I mean, I don't remember seeing that. You've had the odd player given a shepherd's crook, but not the whole front row so soon.
Remember Gatland took Oyomen off after 15 minutes once after he made too many errors.
Really?
That's the only kind of
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. What was he like after that? What was he like in the changing room afterwards?
Can you imagine what a pro rugby player is like after getting taken off after 15?
Humiliating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could argue.
Here comes our man.
Here comes our man. You could argue Luther Burrell never recovered from it. Tamana Harrison as well, both under Eddie Jones. Any other shepherd? Any other well-known shepherd's crooks in the chat? I think Marnie Lebok.
Best shepherd's crook of all time.
Marnie Lebok half an hour into that World Cup semi-final. Henko Fenter breaks. We'll leave that one for a minute.
Oh, he's on that.
Ooh. Fresnel. A couple of good carries from him since he's been on, and they've got to start winning these collisions. See the defence all on their feet and waiting. The ball's slow. Taking 3 or 4 Brive guys to generate a bit of momentum. They are defending that try line. Their own families stood behind it. Big passage of play this. This could be a momentum swing.
Oh, knock on, white.
Knock on by Brive.
Yeah. I'm not sure when it happened. It happened that last ruck, maybe. Apparently the ball carrier on the floor did a knock on. We were out. We didn't see. I think it was out of shot. Here we go. Oh, maybe not. We'll get some angle on that shortly. That first ruck, he was on that ball. I don't know. That's a knock on. What do you think?
Oh, he briefly played it on the deck.
Ok, le protocole commotion, retour du 11, merci. C'est bon 2 ?
Who's up next for Perpignan, Joe?
We got Montpellier again.
Ooh.
Next week, a team that are playing fantastically well.
They are.
Really appreciating their play this year. Very different from Toulouse, very different from Bordeaux.
And we keep talking about it, Joe. We got to get Billy Vanapola on the channel because he is loving life.
He is loving it as well. I'd love to talk to him about his Saracens days, comparing them to now being in an environment where I think they've been pretty well coached. Which you could argue maybe didn't happen a few years ago at Montpellier, but they're looking good.
Well, me and Joe are going to turn our attention to the big Champions Cup game between Bordeaux and Toulouse at half-time, among the other Champions Cup action that's been going on. We are 7.5 minutes from that. Ooh, hint of a feed. It seems like the refs are not as hot on this straight put-in as they were at the start of the season. But it was one, and here we go. Tui Vuaka bust through 2 tackles. Taken in the end by Victor Labas. Brive going to the boot. It touches Paul Oradou. Returns to just over halfway. Tui Vuaka's prowling over there on the right-hand touchline, but this is the other winger, Thomas Zenon. Takes it through the middle. Straight into Karkadze.
Ram Man, reborn. He got on that ball so well. It looked like he's really long and like he's going to fall. Well, as long as a man like that can look. But let's have another look at that steal, because it's him who puts the man on the floor. It's kind of like one of those push-down tackles where afterwards you want to jackal the ball. But he seemed to be quite a long way from the ball. He reached out to it, and I honestly think the clean-out kept him up in the air. And he's locked onto it for long enough for the ref to give the pen.
There we go. It was nice of Karkadze to stop doing deadlifts long enough to actually play a game of rugby. Looks like that's all he does. And here we go.
Here we go. Zenon beats the first tackle. Comes push down, bam. And he's actually looks that angle. He looks pretty solid on the ball.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue it wasn't a clear release, but that's being picky. It's good defence. And maybe Brive just guilty of dying with the ball a little bit. You mentioned it about Cooney earlier, just kind of not taking contact on his terms. Mind you, these are the backs we're talking about, and the forwards haven't been able to do it. As Fraser on, I thought he was going to gather. No, it's an Oyonnax scrum.
Yes. So physicality-wise, in loose play and open play, I think Brive have been looking all right. It's just that ability that we talked about, that you mentioned there. Ruru gives that Oyonnax team that ability to run at the line, make decisions at the line, and speed up the ball, react quickly. And Brive don't have that same ability to accelerate the play. So to say there, Ruru wasn't too good. Again, with a team that plays rugby like Oyonnax are doing now, you're going to have errors like that. That time, they're lucky they got a knock on. Does Ruru create enough opportunities out the back to carry those turnovers? Whereas a Lobanasi, the Georgian knight, he probably won't give you as many turnovers. He won't give you as many opportunities as well. Gives you more solid kicking game, more physical game. Again, depends on the balance of your side, but at the moment, Ruru seems to be suiting the way Georgia are, the way the Oyonnax team are trying to play. So free kick for an early push at the scrum.
Spiral bomb. Shilcott puts it towards Tui Vuaka, and I think the sheer presence of him running at you, the Oyonnax player did not want to catch the ball. He knew what was coming. And it's set at a crucial point in the game. Set another attacking platform for the men in white who go out the back, and there is space on the edge. The defence slides. Zenon to within 3 metres. Replacement hooker Boudou. And this tight defence. The Oyonnax forwards have stood up really well. A little bit high the carry maybe from Coria Marchetti. Boudou's waiting again. Pick and go. Big moment. And are the Brive backs keeping their width, just in case Cooney wants it? Looks like they are on that right-hand side anyway. Tuivasa is pointing to the left. This is big. They really need to come out with something. They go left again. The defence. Coletta is isolated.
Ooh. Wow, what a set. What a set. Why did Brive go wide there? Why did they give it to Bosch with defenders in front of him? One of the lightest players on the rugby pitch. It's incredibly stupid. They're so close to that defensive line. Pierre-Emerick Bronco will be going wild with that decision to go to the width, but hats off to Oyonnax. Great hits, regenerating, get back in the line, and look at the desire that team have. And at the end there, what a fantastic ball steal.
I think there was a moment where the option to the left was on, and Oyonnax just had no numbers, but it was just a wrong moment.
Yet again, a moment like that. Honestly, Brive probably should be at least within a few points. Oh yeah, that high kick. Tuivasa, imagine that preying on your mind.
And then just Coletta going in on his own. Compounded errors, a great defence. Courtney Law's at the tail. Steals the ball. Enko Fanta's had a good first half. Law's through contact. A little bit of go forward on that one. Could be potentially isolated again. Crone releases well.
So he's tackled somebody for... Sorry, he's penalised someone for tackling without the ball. Someone made a great read there and absolutely smashed. Was it Crone? No, it wasn't
Danny
Crone.
Tuivasa. Danny Tuivasa on Crone.
Yeah. I love the trumpet. It's brilliant for Crone there. Oh, here you go.
Bosh.
Yeah, there you go. Crone gets it in the rib cage.
Oh, it was Danny Tuivala's shot off the ball.
Yeah.
No, the shot was Sewalu, the try scorer, I think, but it was Danny Tuivasa was hit his man off the ball. Only his 7th appearance of the season due to injury. Danny Tuivasa, he was quite an important signing for them, and their attack seems to have turned around and taken off a bit since he's been back in the side, adding that go forward. Brive, are they on the board? Jamie Shilcock takes the 3. That ends the first half. Something to show for all of that effort, all of that territory, and all of those minutes they were camped on the home team's line. But it was a fantastically worked try for Sewalu. Kicks from Zach Holmes is the difference. 10 points the difference. 13-3. We'll hear in a moment from a couple of the players. No doubt cliche filled. Let's see what they're saying.
Yeah. The physicality of that half was a step up from what we saw last week. Fantastic game, amazing game between two very good teams. Two teams above these two teams in the table. But what you're seeing tonight from these teams is physicality.
Can you pick up what Coletta's saying? Oh, here we go.
So he's talking very happy with his defense, stealing some lineouts.
Soit on les a renvoyés à la hauteur de nos 22, donc on est dans le combat. On s'était dit
qu'il fallait
absolument l'engagement contre cette équipe. Ils sont
our commitment's awesome.
Donc fallait résister ça allait être un bras de fer. Donc j'espère qu'on
va
pas
prendre
qu'on repartira pareil. Sur nos ballons, on voit qu'on les met en danger.
Start the second half the same as we did just then.
Et après, quand on a nos ballons en attaque, comme on a eu en début de première période, ça s'est très bien passé. Donc j'espère que
when we get the ball in attack, we just carry on attacking like we did in that first period.
Merci beaucoup, on vous laisse aller souffler. Et on va enchaîner avec Anthony Coletta, le capitaine de cette formation de Brive. du mieux dans cette fin de première période pour votre équipe. Qu'est-ce qui manque encore pour arriver à franchir cette ligne, parce que vous avez avoir des occasions en fin de première période?
Non, on a une bonne défense en face. Je pense que ce soir, sur la première mi-temps, on est trop indiscipliné déjà pour commencer. Après, on perd tous les yeux à l'attaque-défense. On est pénalisé en mêlée. Ça va un peu mieux sur la deuxième partie parce qu'on arrive à être chez eux, mais on ne remarque pas parce que chacun se permet de faire soit le petit truc en plus, soit le truc tout seul. On n'est pas assez connecté. Donc voilà, j'espère qu'on va se régler, qu'on va se dire que chacun va faire son travail et qu'on va se remettre dans l'avancée et marquer surtout.
Merci beaucoup.
Second half, let's go forward and just try and above all else score.
10-point game in the second half. At half-time then, it's Oyonnax 13, Brive 3. Right, while we've got a few minutes, let's have a look back at last night. Let's look ahead to tomorrow's game between Bordeaux and Toulouse. But let's just stick with Pro D2 for a minute, because some of the results from yesterday have left the table in quite an interesting position. Béziers have dropped into the second bottom. It looks like Carcassonne are pretty much gone, but Béziers now are in danger.
So who is it? Béziers, Dax, Mont-de-Marsan,
Biarritz.
Probably
up as far as Nevers aren't totally safe yet.
That Nevers result last night was a big one for them, huh?
Big.
Very much so. Massive result. They sacked the coach the other week. Often there's like an inspirational turnaround at that point for a team. It's worked for them. But yeah, this is probably just so exciting. One of the reasons, promotion, relegation. It's so exciting right now to see who's going to be in that access match. You're right, Carcassonne, despite winning yesterday, are still very much adrift. And it's going to be one of those 4 teams that goes into that ascension match, like my team is going to be doing at the end of the year. And it's a nerve-wracking period. But for those 4 teams, this fight to the end of the season is going to be nuts.
Yeah. Big win for Valence against Colomiers. That cements them in third. But it looks, I reckon Colomiers are going to hang on to second, come what may, in the final 4 rounds. So the game we've got tonight is definitely part of the bun fight in the 4 going for the barrage.
Yeah, but this game tonight is really important as well, because who's going to finish 3rd, 4th? If Brive, for example, win tonight and win the rest of their games and somehow clambered up into 3rd, gives you a different dynamic. You don't have to go and play Van. Because going to Van to win, I'm not sure. It's going to be a tough ask, isn't it? Playing them in the final away from Van in Toulouse is going to be different from that. So I'm intrigued to see the teams are fighting Oyonnax, Brive to get into that 3rd spot. Currently it's occupied, and will they be able to hold on to it? I don't know.
We'll find out. That last night's game was absolutely insane in the Champions Cup. Bath against Northampton. That was wild. Did you catch it?
The game last night was phenomenal. At the start, I started thinking, what do I know about British rugby anymore, English rugby anymore? We're all saying Bath's going to win. And then you'd mentioned before about the drubbing that Northampton had given Bath in Bath. I was thinking the same results on the cards here, but Bath showed their character. They showed their character, and Northampton started coughing up a few mistakes, and it gave Bath those opportunities. But listen, I'm not saying Northampton shouldn't play how they play. It's just in that game, it did allow Bath back into it. But I think that's the road you walk when you take that approach.
Yeah, and that approach, there was one moment, they were 12 points up and they had a penalty, and the scrum half took it quickly, which is obviously how they play. But
Yeah,
15 points.
The same thing. He's young, inexperienced, but why didn't he go to 2 scores at that moment there?
Well, 3 scores it would have been at that point. 15 points would have been 3-score game. I thought, yeah.
That was a massive moment. He came off, everyone was high-fiving him because of some magic moments he did. He did have a good game, looks like a real talent. But I'm not sure I'd have been high-fiving him after taking the quick tap in front of the post 30 metres out, running it into the 22, and then it was turned over literally next phase, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they ended up getting the yellow card, and the yellow card against them, and Bath scoring moments later. So yeah, that was a big moment. But that we now know that it's going to be.
That was massive, Tim, wasn't it? Because counter ruck, penalty, play quickly, kick down, pressure, yellow card, try behind that, huge turning point.
Yeah, massive. Well, we know Bath, fair play. The power game and the experience of some of those players told in the end. We know that Bath are going to be playing. Either they're going to be playing Toulouse at the Milton Keynes Stadium, or they're going to be playing Bordeaux in Bordeaux. What's your, before we get into a little thing I want to do looking at the teams and dissecting Toulouse and Bordeaux and Toulouse, what's your gut feeling telling you on how this one's going to pan out?
Yeah, so the Toulouse-Bordeaux game I see going Bordeaux's way, partly because I'm biased towards Bordeaux. I'm biased towards them and I want them to win, but Toulouse, we know they're dangerous. We know what they can do. This year, they're that little bit better than everyone else, considerably more than last year. So in all reality, if you're thinking about percentages, you're going to say Toulouse is going to win this game. Bordeaux missing a couple of guys, which are quite key. But on the whole, I'm going to go Bordeaux purely because I think they'll make the most of their opportunities. They've got enough power on the pitch to take them to test that Toulouse pack more than they did in that final a couple of years ago where they got hammered. So I'm going to go for Bordeaux, partly because I'm biased and I love Bordeaux.
And Toulouse, I suppose, have already lost twice in this competition already so far this season, but they have got some key cogs in their machine back. And like you say, Bordeaux with 1 or 2 out. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. While we've got a bit of time, I'm just going to rattle through the 1 to 15, give you the 2 options, and you have to decide which one of those players you would pick. A bit of a combined 15, and it might reveal something about maybe where the balance of power could lie. So, jersey number 1, Poirot or Ayonu?
Poirot. He's old now. Scrummaging's not amazing, but he's a leader.
Yeah.
And he brings that to the pitch. Ball stealing, tackling also is pretty awesome.
Malvaca or Lamotte?
The fat ginger guy is awesome. Fat ginger guy, I'm talking about Lamotte there. He's an incredible talent, but Malvaca, he's just amazing. So let's go Malvaca there.
Okay, so one each at the moment. Aldegheri or Sardi?
On the bench with Tamafina, he's benched, isn't he?
Yeah, Tamafuna's on the bench and Merkler as well. I almost think they're probably the pair of them are better than the starters.
Merkler's class as well. Honestly, of those 4, Big Ben, can I go for him or not?
Yeah, well we'll go. I would have gone with Carlos Sardi out of the starters. Let's just stick with that. Bordeaux, both Bordeaux props. That's quite revealing. In the second row, you've got for Bordeaux, Boris Parlou and Adam Coleman, and for Toulouse, you've got the old faithful Flamand and Meafou.
Adam Coleman is a fantastic poutre, the guy that the French like to have in the pack, who can stop mauls, smash rucks, and just bring physicality. But Meafou, again, on a different level there. Flamand, I love, just an amazing rugby player.
Yeah. So we're going for Toulouse's engine room. Back row, and I mean, he had a great game last weekend. Woki, Bocheton and Gazzotti are opposite Cross, Willis and Gelon.
Tough one. Cameron Woki is line-out wise an incredible talent. Around the pitch, he can make things happen. I've got to go Cross.
Yeah.
I've got to go for him. Who are you going for?
I'm going for Toulouse across the board. Cross, Willis, Gelon. Although they do lack maybe a slight line-out edge that Bordeaux could have in Woki. But yeah, those I would go.
Yeah, Flamand brings that line-out edge that Woki has to an extent. Yeah. Maybe not quite as quick into the air. But yeah, I'm going Willis. You got to be Cross. You got to be Anthony Gelon. I think is a fantastic player.
That's like a big defensive unit, Gelon, against a really good attacking number 8 in Gazzotti. So that's quite an interesting matchup, that one.
Yeah, Gazzotti's a good player, but again, he's not playing for France. Yeah. Gelon's there in front of him.
So we've got Bordeaux's props and the rest of the pack, Toulouse, which is quite interesting. Into the back line, Dupont or Luku?
I'm going to be controversial and go Luku. We talked about it the other day. I just think he is an incredible leader, incredible talent. And if Bordeaux win, he's going to have to outshine Dupont in this match.
All right. I know you're going Jalabert over Ntamak. Both brilliant, but Jalabert's a magician.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going for a Bordeaux halfback.
12 is interesting. 12 and 13 is interesting. I mean, I might be tempted to go Chocobares and Moafana 12, or Moafana 12, Chocobares 13. But if we just strictly had to go 12 against 12, Moafana against Chocobares, which one would you have? If your life depended on it.
They're both physical players. Moafana hasn't been quite on top of the form he was last year. He's had an injury, came back in the French team. Probably a bit too fast. He's not been quite firing how he normally did. I mean, Chocobares is just a big physical. That physical brings the physical edge to that Toulouse team in the back line. Moafana,
okay, interesting. And then Penaud, out of position but an amazing player on his day, or Calvin Gore?
I can't look beyond Gore at the moment. God.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% confident how you say that.
I can't look beyond him. He looks class.
He looks inevitable, doesn't he? Only 20, so crazy. On the wings, you've got Louis Bielbiere, opposite Mathis Lebel, and you've got Teddy Thomas against Uberti?
Listen, Teddy
No, it's LBB. LBB and who?
LBB and who? Lebel, no. Teddy Thomas makes errors, makes a lot of errors and can mess up. He does incredible stuff too. But then Pablo Uberti, he's normally an outside centre who can play wing. So
isn't that interesting with Penaud being a winger who's slotted in outside centre? They haven't gone the other way around.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think as to why Bordeaux would be doing this, not putting Uberti there in his place. Because again, defensive reads for Damien Penaud are a bit different. Maybe we'll see him defensively switching them around a bit. So Uberti's sitting there and Damien plays on the wing. But who? Can we put Penaud on the wing? I'm not sure. No, we have to go with what we're going to go with. No, we'll
go with this. Like Lebel scored a winning try in the Champions Cup final for Toulouse a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Lebel's a lovely player. He's probably rocks my boat a bit more than Teddy Thomas.
Lebel and LBB, and then what a matchup this one is. Rayassi and his incredible footwork against Ramos and his incredible brain.
Yeah, Ramos' incredible brain every time. Rayassi is in that position where his brilliance is incredible. The side steps you saw in that game, amazing. But he does make positional errors and kicking errors, and these kind of things at fullback bite you in the ass. So we're going to go Ramos.
There we go. So we've got a Bordeaux more dominated backline and a Toulouse dominated pack, which is
what was it, 4-3? 4-3 in the backline.
Yeah, could be potentially the story of the game. The halfbacks, I think, are going to be huge, and the fact you've gone for Luku and Jalabert as a combo, I think, is revealing and could be very significant. You're saying Bordeaux, I'm going to lose. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, and let's get back to Pro D2 tonight. Big game. And the Pro D2 playoffs are coming, and there's some massive games. We have the top 6 teams go into the barrage. Third plays 6th, fourth plays 5th, and then they win the right to play in a semi-final against one of the top 2 before the grand final, when one team wins their access to the top 14. Which of the teams tonight could be involved, and how far will they go? Also, we've got to give another shout for our friends at Roast Beef Rugby.
Dick and Bob in the house.
Rich and Robert, Dick and Bob, on their French travels, covering all things French rugby. They do some brilliant stuff. So go and subscribe to their channel and fill your boots. But here we are at Oyonnax. Just got a little bit of... they've been watching FR UK halftime. Let's see what Coletta's saying.
I think that we've missed the team talk. That's them going out the door.
I think there will have been some choice words. It's a cosy dressing room they've got there. Oyonnax with a 10-point lead, back out onto the field. Who's there? Cassiem has been prominent. Henko Fenter is opposite number. That's been one of the interesting matchups we've seen this evening. But in terms of the teams, Brive have had a lot of effort, a lot of toil, but defence has been on top of the attack.
How old is Zach Holmes now?
He is 35.
Oh, I thought he was older than that.
The Aussie. Did he?
That's a winger.
That is a winger. He must have. Zach Holmes. I'm trying to think in the years. He did win lots of stuff, didn't he? Because he was at Bordeaux when they weren't winning stuff.
I think maybe with La Rochelle he might have been.
He won. I think I'm pretty sure he won
the European Cup,
Champions Cup with La Rochelle.
I'm not sure if he started. He wouldn't be starting though.
Possibly one of the years. He's definitely. He's part of that whole rise of La Rochelle. Part of their story. Great kickoff. Really pinned Cassiem in. Karkadze had a little look. Went like a crab across the pitch before going forward, and a great start for Brive. Frezenon.
It's taken so long to support him.
Celebrating that one like a try. The tight head prop with a jackal turnover.
Yeah, he's the Argentinian.
Argentine on Argentine.
Who managed to steal that one. Let's have another look. So it was a great kickoff, a great kick into the 5-metre line. Got smashed by the opposition. Ram Man got pushed down. Clear release. Gets on the ball.
Correa Marchetti did well. Line out was poor from Brive in the first half, and again, that looked a mess in the build-up to whatever that was.
Non, merci. Jouez là, neuf.
To exit, Brive. All that hard work.
Ooh.
What's going on there? Karim Kadiri.
I think
peut-être qu'il y a escorte qui reste dans votre axe. Par contre, derrière, vous venez volontairement le pousser, c'est du jeu déloyal.
He's not allowed, he pushed him.
Donc c'est du jeu déloyal contre
So
vous.
he pushed him obviously aggressively enough that he's been penalised for it. It seems a bit harsh. I didn't really notice that live, but let's have another look. I'm sure we'll see it.
Kadiri's been prolific scoring the tries. 12 in 18, but you can just see.
I don't know.
I don't think John Cooney's not the sort of guy to try and buy a pen. Brive win this one. They get a rumble on, and that's gone to deck illegally. So penalty advantage in their back pocket. Ramman's off. He's got some wheels.
Leg speed.
He's like an old Flintstones cartoon.
J'ai 3 fautes, ok, dans un espace de temps réduit. Ici, j'ai un blanc ici qui vient sur le côté et qui écroule. Donc retrouvez de la discipline, 3 fautes d'affilée, vous leur parlez.
Yeah, so he's saying one of your players round the side and then took them all down.
Attendez, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? C'est bon, vous leur avez... Attendez, j'ai pas relancé.
It was Vivas.
Vous leur avez parlé?
So here, are they going to go for the...
Look at Tui Vuaka's got his hands on the ball. Is he going for a tap?
So here we go.
Big barrel of a man. Off he goes. Bosch takes it to within inches. Exactly where Brive were just at the end of the first half, and they could not punch it in. Try a trick, switch down the blind side and get taken into touch.
He got it down. I think he got it down. I think he got an arm out just near the end.
Wow.
Yeah, Venter, I think.
Henko Fenter.
I thought they'd ballsed it up. I thought they'd taken too long. The defence was in place.
Well, let's have a look at this, because I just thought he'd been taken into touch. Tui Vuaka. And then Fenter reaches out the right paw. Well played.
That came out on the tip of his fingers, wasn't it? You can't see clearly, so let's have I want to see it clearly.
Given a try on the field.
He was in pain there. What happened to him?
Try time.
The ref had a great angle.
Crowd going absolutely mad, coach going mad. Jamie Shilcock with the clock ticking down. I love French crowds. No extras, but it's back to a one-score game.
Here you go. Right, I'm sure it's at the end.
Fingertip. Can't see. Benefit of the doubt.
You can't see. Ref.
Well finished. The assistant referee's right there. He's right there. That's Henko Fenter's first try for Brive since his move from Glasgow Warriors. And he tidies up the restart, and they need to build again.
Oh, what a steal. Le Breton is a phenomenal ball stealer. He's built for it. He's got the morphology for it. But you'll see here the tackle is made. The tacklers fall between the support players and the ball carrier, and just give Le Breton that tiny window of opportunity, and bam, in he goes. But again, we'll come back to the quality of the kick. Just like the last kickoff from Brive gave him the opportunity in the opposition's 22, we've just seen the same thing there. High quality kick, great chase. And
this is, Joe, why they call the kickoff the third set piece, because it's so important.
Vital, yeah.
Look at where Brive are now. Look at where Oyonnax are now. Who are maybe would have been taking that one to the house had they not had their pod landed on. Ref's letting that go.
Can't see how they lost the ball there.
Brive were doing their best to try and lose the ball. Cooney taking the ball very close to, but within the field of play, and exits to the 22. What happened there? Let's have a look.
I think he was so low and they're going forward so quickly that the player on the ball carried on going. And he falls there, boom, on his back. So the carry, and they never get away from the second one that took the ball. And he lands there.
I guess in terms of a jumper landing on top of, it's not Brive's fault that Oyonnax decided to drive forward, I guess. So play on. That's set well. Penalty advantage is coming. Ruru takes a look and snipes. It gives the pass to Tuala. Lift.
Why did he try that?
To Sewalu, doesn't come off. They have the penalty advantage.
I think even with penalty advantage, that's quite a high risk one. He got good go forward off the back of that. Fast ball there. Oh, wait and see what happens.
Ici, 16 blancs sur le côté. Et on va mettre 10 mètres de plus sur votre 14 qui tape dans le ballon.
So they're going to give 10 more meters. Penalty and then 10 more meters.
Ici, 16 blancs très latéral et 14 qui envoient le ballon dans les tribunes.
And then Zenon kicked the ball into the stands.
Ouais, 16, le 16.
That might have potentially changed what they do, because a 5-point game, oh no, it's quite wide out. I'm sure they would have gone to the corner anyway, but this just guarantees that it's a 5-meter line out. Yes, you.
Yeah, that was very good.
To the back. Tackled. Ooh. And turned over again.
So they sacked it. They sacked that one.
Henko Fenter with a one-man tackle at the tail.
Stealing as soon as a man hit the deck, someone was on it.
I think it might have been you know who.
With his long arm.
Oh no, was it Corio Marchetti again? I thought it was Big Courts.
Back to England. Will he get in that World Cup squad?
I mean, he's got 105 caps and 5 more for the Lions. I'd have him involved. He's worth his place in the squad. Just give him 20 minutes to go and atomise someone. Nice step from Svelidza.
That could be a maul. No, he got down in time. No, it was a maul.
It was a maul.
So you see, as it's a good line for the exit, running that kind of tight line onto the 15. Behind that player coming off the line out, with the defensive line coming up, there's that connection that people attack a lot. So he made a good advance, but then he gets into the forwards after that. Here, bam, he's running into the big forwards. And because he's so high, body check. Prop gets hold of him. Second forward comes in to lock it down. Ref calls maul, turnover.
JMF in the chat says Oyo haven't scored since we joined at 25 minutes. Well, firstly, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, in the last 3 home games, Oyo have scored 173 points. So they have cut loose. But it probably tells you everything about the quality of the teams, about the stakes, what is on the line. Because this is for, well, Oyo could jump over Brive into 5th spot, but it would leave whoever wins looking up the table towards those 3rd and 4th spots and a home match in the barrage. This is a big game.
Key home match. But again, we'll come back to that subplot. You don't want to go to Van for the semi-final. Van have been cleaning the floor of everybody. Maybe in a final or one-off final, pressure day in Toulouse, you could do it. But you don't want to be going there. So Brive, Oyo, are desperate to get into a position, 3rd position, where they can go and have a semi-final in Colombia if they win their barrage.
And Mamours Bass, I hope I'm saying that right, on the chat says, so Tim is in England and Joe is in France. Am I right? For them, generally speaking, yes, exactly how it works.
Generally, but not this time.
No. This because Perpignan got knocked out of the Challenge Cup last week. Sorry, Joe, to mention that. Joe's having a couple of days back in London before heading back to Perpignan as Cassiem. Big carry from the base. Dummies and takes it, flat pass. To the big winger, Gavin Stark. Ram man, Karkadze. Boshes his way towards the 22. Cassiem takes them inside it. Courtney Laws latched on.
You just saw, again, I want to watch that again. I know they already had advantage, so Courtney didn't win the penalty or the ball, but you just see there, the tackle's happening, he's tracking it, his feet are in the right position. As soon as the player hits the deck, boom, he's on it. Just waiting to pounce.
He is the best technician in this league, and I still maintain one of the best in the world, and that's not primarily what he's there to do.
That was doesn't happen so much anymore. He took that out of trap 1 as opposed to trap 2. Back in the day when I was playing, scrum coaches didn't want us pushing them much. Just in the slips, ready to get out of the scrum as soon as possible at Wasps. But the team there, yeah, took it out of the one channel and got a good bit of go forward from that scrum.
I don't know why I'm giggling. Just I always called it channel 1, channel 2, not trap 1, trap 2, but that's fine. That works. Zach Holmes.
Ooh, he's pushed it.
Hits the post. Where's this going? Oh. Will they take the 3 again?
I think I would, yeah. Wow, they're lucky there. I think he thought it was a brioche, went to grab it. I mean, what forward in the world would leave that? I'm not sure many would.
It's the beautiful thing about rugby, game for all shapes and sizes. Second attempt for Zach Holmes. And this time, the 2-score lead is back. 8 points the difference, 16-8. 52 on the clock. Bomb squad on the field.
Yeah. And it's a big Dutchman in the second one.
Big Dutchman.
Very talented ball player.
2 in cast. Yeah, this is basically the academy coming off the bench for the most part.
Yeah, a lot of young guys. And one very old one who's a very good ball player, not the greatest athlete.
Pimenta, the centre.
No, he's not bad. Hugo
Hugo Verdu, yes.
He plays 15, 9, 10, polyvalent, can play anywhere. Plays his rugby for Algeria, international rugby. Great kick.
That's a good kick.
Ooh, get some speed on this. It's on out wide.
Yeah, it is on. I don't think they've got the numbers anywhere. Yeah.
Again, that's where Brive should be identifying that and getting ready to play it.
I think they already knew what was coming next. And it was this kick, which fair play. They win the spoils. Now can they play on top of the ball and with pace as Oyonnax try and organise their defence again. It's the boot and it's overcooked.
Jamie there, I find it strange what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
il y a des changements. 10, je vous parle. Il y a des changements. Ils avaient déjà... Non, pas vous, pas vous.
I think he's seen space in the back there. I think he was playing a kick to put pressure on him and get opposition exit on the 5 meters out.
It looks a little bit, Joe, like Brive kind of lacking numbers at moments. We saw it in the previous phase when they seemed to have potentially quick ball and there just weren't the people there. Is that just laziness from some people? Is that lack of organisation? What's the story?
For years, he struggled with it last year when I was there. This could be even worse.
Turnover.
We'll get into that in a minute, Tim.
Yeah, okay. There's Le Breton. Bundle of energy, ball of muscle. Gives Oyonnax massively important possession, and with it, Zach Holmes tries to set up some territory. Shilcock under pressure, knocks it backwards. Play on Shvelidze. Crowd think it was a knock on. It did go backwards. Krone, is he going to get taken into touch? Just stays in field.
Again there, look at the opportunity to play with.
Yeah.
No interest.
They're chasing kicks. At what point do they have to chase the game? Yeah, forward from red.
Yeah, got another good result. Yeah, that phase we literally just talked about is a good example of where Brive need to improve. It's that ability of freedom to play. And for years, they've had a very constrained game plan. Last year, when I was there, again, it's something to struggle with. As a defence coach, exiting in charge of that side of things, you want structure, you want chaos. Never really, unless you've got the ball, and then it's good. Now, in the attack, you want to get to chaos. You want to get open spaces when you're in possession and play to it, and the ability to do it. But that's where Brive struggle. And it's really something they've got to break, because we've seen just in the last few minutes the number of opportunities they've had. And like you say, there's no one seems to be there. It's because they're all getting ready for the kick. They're all assuming the kick's going to happen and not even thinking about the options in front of their eyes.
Hugo Verdu on for John Cooney. Feeds. Pressure comes on from Oyo.
Should have got that out trap one.
That had to be picked. Dealt with. All the backs coming in to give the fresh front row the credit. Ali Oz is on for Oyo, the tight head prop, 140 kilos.
Wow.
What's that in old money? 23 stone?
That kick is banging as well. Oh.
That's a fantastic kick.
140. 23 stone? Would it be?
Monstered. The line out stolen. Brief respite for Brive. Listen to the crowd. They're getting properly behind this team. They know what this game could mean for them. Shilcock and Kadiri locking horns. Brive stop back on their 22. Setting themselves up for another exit. Feels like Oyo is a boxer just jabbing, just keeping Brive at a distance. At some point, Brive are going to have to open up and try and swing some shots. Penalty advantage is coming for Oyo. Cassian. Was Cassian just in support? It was Le Breton again.
Yeah, Cassian actually blocked the defender trying to get to Le Breton. Almost looks like a beer they bought for a fancy dress night. Stuck onto his face, isn't it?
Who would you be going as? Like when you did old rugby fancy dress, who did you go as to like socials?
One year, my favourite one was Melon Man. They had to create a superhero based on your kind of nickname. Mine was Melon.
Mellow Man.
Not Mellow, Melon.
Oh, Melon, because you've got a giant head.
A giant watermelon-sized head. Melon Man was a wicked outfit. It was awesome. Fantastic. I like the goggles, especially like an M shape, like the golden arches, but in green. Some good lenses over my eyes. What other outfits?
I think I may have had this conversation before, but my favourite social we have. Oh yeah. What was Melon Man's actual superpower, Joe? Before I get onto that, it's just having a large head. That it must be a superpower.
I didn't really have one.
No, just big head. Okay, cool.
You should. Yeah, just his massive head.
The game moves on with that image in your head of Joe's head. Cassiem. And this Oyonnax crowd properly getting behind their team. Danny Tuala taking it on the carry, running hard, punching holes.
Crossing. So he's saying that Ram Man blocked one of the Brive players from getting to the ball carrier. He was ahead of the ball carrier, preventing the defender from getting to it. Big moment, that. Still 21 minutes to go. Had Oyonnax scored there, could have been a long way back.
Did you ever ride a motorcycle, Joe?
No, never. I couldn't because getting a helmet was important.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask, because actually that's the genuine thing that I know.
I went go-karting the other day and
there wasn't a helmet big enough.
Trying the helmets on. He goes down to the cupboard, brings out this helmet, dusts it off like dust and spiders crawling out of it. Hasn't been you. I just about got it on, nearly ripped my ears off.
I reckon that. Do you know who I think the last person to have worn that would have been? Is former England, British and Irish Lion, Matt Stevens.
He had a big head.
He had an enormous head.
Ooh.
That's offside.
Turnover. Wow.
Ooh, do you take it back to one score?
2 penalties, 2 key penalties.
Yeah.
And bam, they're back in. That is how fast a rugby match can turn. Definitely take 3. Trevor Leota had an enormous head as well.
No, the reason I know Matt Stevens had a massive head because he came to Bath University when he signed for Bath, and I was at Bath Uni, and there was a piece on the evening local news about he had a little 50cc scooter that used to go around town on, and he could not find a helmet that would fit his head.
So they let him use it anyway, or
no? Basically, that was it. He had to enlist the help of like people scouring the
helmet
world
hunters
for helmet hunters. Yeah.
That's quite cool. Trevor Leota had a bigger head than me though. One year we were bored. We were in Italy somewhere.
Sorry, Jamie Shilcock with the extra 3. We're back to a 1-score game. Brive are still in this. They're still in this. We're into the final 20. Massive game. Sorry, let's wrap up the head chat. Go on, Joe, quickly.
Yeah, so they used water displacement. So they picked me up, turned me upside down, dunked my head into a water bucket. And then they did him, and he displaced more water, and we realised he had the bigger head.
Scientific. I like it.
A scientific board rugby player.
All right, then. Are Brive actually going to be able to create a try? They've been close. They've been on Oyonnax line a couple of times. Several times. It's been a rearguard action for the most part. This guy's gone through some work this evening. 36 years young. Cassiem. Nudge through from Zach Holmes to Ivuaka. Danny Tuala.
Pickpocketed, no. Wow,
yeah. The Samoan, I think, just pickpocketed the Fijian. Ruru, the New Zealander. The crowd sense the moment. Two huge defensive efforts. Are Brive going to break? The ball spills out. Boudou. I think it's just letting everything go. It's gone back again, turnover to turnover, as you were. I think Ruru might have been lucky there. The pinball's out the side again. Again, the ball is allowed to go on and play, this time with a penalty advantage.
How many ball steals in one sequence of play have you ever seen?
Now, they were on top at the last scrum. 3 points gets them back to 2 scores.
Yeah, that's a big moment. Français, the ref says push the ball back on the floor for his team. When you're on the floor, you can't participate in play. Yeah, incredible ball steal on ball steal. So Oyonnax lost the ball. The ball carrier let the ball out of his hands as the ruck was forming. One of his own players kicked it, rolls to the Brive team. As you see there, bam, it happens. And then they steal it back straight away, Oyonnax, as Boudou went to the floor. Oh, there you go. That
was pretty silly.
Pretty stupid. Yeah. The player that has previous. In terms of dumb penalties, that's a dumb penalty.
The 8-point lead returns. This time Brive are going to have to try and claw it back. A man down. Zach Holmes' night is done. His boot has been the difference. Labas, who came through the Brive Academy, has led his team well tonight, taking care of business at the restart. It's a hungry chase. Crone under pressure, but might create something out of nothing. Is he in touch? Stays in.
I think he touched it with his hand.
The crowd thinks so, I think, Joe. Forcing it again as Brive risking getting isolated, this time with the offload. Not really seen much of Kerwin Bosch this evening. They've not done a great deal of attacking. Crone, though, he's had a big few seconds, and Tuivuaka. Bowling ball. Brive. Sense a moment. Every time they've been in the Oyonnax 22, the home team have been equal to it. Playing with a little bit more urgency, a bit more pace. A man down, remember. Boudou. The ball is quick again. He's isolated again. Schilcock forces it. That was never on. It was Kerwin Bosch, actually, not Schilcock.
Avantage en avant. Jouez là. Jouez là, 9.
Rui, chance to slow it down. Brive are going to have to go again. Joe Worsley, how is it Brive are getting isolated so often? Is it a similar symptom to what we were talking about earlier, where they're just kind of not reloading to attack?
I think
maybe it was a knock-on.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Hugo Verdu is a 9 who can accelerate, read the play, and he's a French 9 who accelerates play probably better than John Cooney. John Cooney's got many other strengths, but that's one area where Hugo Verdu has the ability to accelerate the player, and you saw there he was getting on the ball quickly, playing off. He kind of lifted the tempo of that sequence of play from Brive. It's probably the best one we've seen from them until the poor decision at the end from Jamie Schilcock to attempt the little pass out the back. But I think that was their best sequence of play. If you start to accelerate, make little tips, make offloads, occasionally people get isolated. And your support players just have to work their asses off to catch up and clear out.
We just saw the list of injured players for Brive come up on the screen, and one of them is Marcel van der Merwe.
Yeah, he's, like I talked about earlier, the guy who can dominate a scrum on his own.
Yeah.
Great for mauling.
They're down a man. They win the line out. Tuivuaka. A little bit of volleyball going on. This is fierce, this game, and Le Breton latched onto the ball again.
Such a good stealer. We'll have a look here. If a player falls in front of him like they do here, again, the volleyball tactics aren't going to get you anywhere. Someone just take that ball and go forward.
I don't want to see the turnover. Looks like it. Interesting call.
Okay.
Mind you, Justin Barreau has got a cannon. He's scored 231 points this season so far, but he's not going to add to it. Not now, at least.
Quite suspect. With that smile on his face.
Yeah.
On va attendre Corentin, on va attendre juste qu'il soit à toi. Ouais, le temps est arrêté, j'attends que votre 23 sorte.
Yeah, that was the sort of image that I'm just looking at the time it is. That might scare children about to go to bed, that fella.
Reprise du temps.
I don't think I've ever enjoyed anything as much as he enjoyed ringing that bell.
Nothing at all.
That's a maul. It's another turnover. I tell you what, there have been some massive shots going in.
From a kick, isn't it? So.
And many of them have been dished out by Oyonnax. And Danny Tuala did so well then to make the contact, latch onto the ball, hold Jamie Shilcock up.
Yeah, he did really well. I mean, it's going to be free ball because it's from a kick, but
okay.
But the way the scrum's been going, honestly, I think it's going to be a tough ask from Brive to deny this Oyo scrum.
Okay, 5. Ouais, le 5.
Special moment between them then,
wasn't it? It's like a...
C'est bon, Corentin.
But Brive, without Marcel, could be weaker at the scrum, no doubt. But the hooker that's not playing tonight, the Portuguese international hooker, who's
Lucas da Silva.
He's a good scrummager, good thrower. So he'll bring more stability to their set piece.
Well, let's see what happens now. You know, Oyonnax are targeting this. That fella loving life.
Chilling with his drum in his mouth.
Solid. All the pressure comes on, but the ball won. Shvelidza goes direct. Again, the contact skills. To Ivuaka.
Yeah, so knock on Booby, I think he's carrying. I reckon someone, as he's going down, he just caught his head on someone.
Nathan Fraser, no.
Worst place to be that.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself on the big screen after making a massive cock up. It's probably the worst thing. It's probably one of the worst things. I don't think I'm happy I can't. Actually, no, maybe against the semi-final Munster Wasps, I did make one big cock up. I remember looking at the big screen thinking, you dick, as I was walking off.
Walking off with a yellow card?
Yeah, yellow card.
Was that Munster game?
That game, yeah.
That game? Oh, so you got out of jail. Your teammates got you out of that one.
Yeah, thanks, Philip. He covered my ass.
Gaucher qui s'efface ici.
Big moment. Scrum penalty.
So 71 minutes, they're going to kick it in. 72 line outs, leaving Brive precious little time now to get up that pitch, score twice.
This game's been fierce, Joe.
Yeah, it's been very different, hasn't it, to that game we saw last week. Teams that are above them, but teams that are playing quicker, playing more fluid.
Was he?
No, he got that right.
Got that on the money.
Yeah, teams are playing right. This is all about physicality. teams that are far less able maybe in attack than Valence and Colomiers. If they're going to bring a physicality that game didn't have, it's going to propose different challenges to those teams above them.
And this is a second-tier competition. Listen to that crowd, packed in. Listen to that noise. Bigger attendances than you get in many grounds in top leagues around the world. But these Oyo fans anticipating that their men are going to be leapfrogging Brive into 5th spot and looking up the table with the barrage around the corner. Try time.
Game over.
That is the game, and it is the big man. Leone Rotui Solia.
But now they can chase. Got a lot of chasing to do. Is that the third try or the second? It says 2 tries.
Second try.
There's obviously bonus points in the French leagues are for attacking bonus point. Oyonnax can get an attacking bonus point if they finish 3 tries in front of Brive. Apparently that requires them scoring 2 more.
8 caps for Fiji, signed from the Fijian Drua, and he's had a big impact.
Okay.
Literally and metaphorically for Oyo. It looks like they've got this game wrapped up. As it stands, they'll be moving on to 71 points, 2 ahead of Brive. And 4 behind, or 5.
Saw that. Power, watch this.
Yeah, power. Oof.
Look at young Jeffrey Malater, talented young French player. That's where that importance of that gym work, foundation of gym work is massive. Absorbing and taking those kind of hits is so vital. To have a body that's obviously not too muscular that you can't run around, but as muscular as possible to protect your body from those kind of hits. I think he popped his shoulder. Or AC joint maybe.
Yeah. 20 years of age, Malater. Hopefully not too bad for him. One for the future for Brive. As for right now, they are licking their wounds.
Yeah, Brive has a real good conveyor belt of talented players coming through. Last few years, a lot of them had to leave. Well, not had to leave, they got recruited by the clubs. Carbonneau is a Racing.
Mathis Ferte saw him earlier today for Toulon.
Is it Toulon? Real good, talented, real strong system bringing through players. Enjoy watching a couple of the junior sessions. Just summed up that difference in how players are brought up in France or England. The number of offloads, for example, in a session I was watching there compared to a session I would watch in England was 10 to 1.
I'm trying to work out why there's a KLF reference in the chat. Max Colby, the justified ancients of Mumu. What's the KLF chat there? You got me intrigued. Paul Oradou.
I think you need a DJ to even know what that reference would be.
Well, that's my job, isn't it?
KLF, as in the KLF.
The band,
KLF.
the band, the KLF.
Yeah, but what does KLF stand for? Right?
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know what the KLF stand for. I just know they were. I just know I liked them. Big in the 90s.
English as well.
Yeah, they're British. They I think they were. Yeah, and they burned a whole massive mountain of cash as a big PR stunt. I remember back in the 90s. Coletta trying to salvage something from this game for Brive, but that pretty much sums up the evening. They've lost collisions and not been able to impose their game on Oyo. Yeah, KLF, they had that Justified an Ancient song with Tammy Wynette, the country singer. And Last Train to Grand Central, another big tune. Maybe they're from New York, actually. You don't get chat about obscure 19th.
Manchester.
The train station in Manchester is, well, you've got Piccadilly and Victoria. There's a pub called Grand Central right outside Oxford Road Station. But you don't get this chat on other rugby, do you? This is why you're tuned into FR UK. Although apparently, Dougie in my ear has just said that Miles Harrison, lovely man, brilliant commentator, he was talking about In Spiral Carpets, a Manchester band last night. Oh, he wasn't. Dougie's just got me there. Dougie's just got me. I thought that was a bit odd. Really? Northampton v Bath? Dougie just apologised in my ear. He didn't need to, I just got done there. As the Mexican wave is going around the stand, it's that point of the evening. The game is done. It's just a question of by how many.
Yeah, if they get a try now, there'll be an exciting last few minutes chasing a bonus. That could be a big difference.
Yeah, it could be. Every point counts.
Oh, not with Butterfingers.
And for Brive, that they will have to get to within 5 points to get a defensive bonus point. So it looks like both of those are not going to be achieved by either team this evening. Got some people uninitiated to French rugby just admiring the intensity of the crowd, Joe. You see it day in, day out, and Perpignan, your fans are wilder than most. What could you describe what it's like?
Yeah. Every game you arrive, home game you arrive, and away games, to be fair, there are thousands of people there letting off fireworks, cheering the team on, leaving a tiny narrow corridor through which to walk, get slapped on the back. New kids wanting high fives. Yeah, it's an intense place. They just really get behind their team. Again, this is where that game at the end of the season, one game to stay in the top 14, or June the 14th, again even more intense because everybody all week leading up to that match is going to be all over the place. They're talking about it, getting in their heads. They want to encourage them, they want to be part of it, they want to help. But it's going to be a fascinating period of time we've got coming up to try and get the players psychologically prepared for that game without going too far to make it such a big deal that people who are on the day start to doubt themselves. So yeah, it's going to be a fascinating challenge.
Yeah, Joe Worsley, defence coach at Perpignan, they are in 13th position in the top 14. They will have to travel to survive in the top 14. They'll have to travel to whoever is the runner-up in Pro D2. They have to go away to play that match. It's
I think we're allowed to buy we're allowed to buy a quarter of the stadium with tickets, though. That's one thing. So a massive crowd will come with us. It makes the atmosphere even more amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
Obviously caused some problems last year in Grenoble, and there was fighting on the pitch at the end. But yeah, there'll be thousands of Perpignan fans going to wherever that game will be. It could be one of these teams we're watching tonight. Could be Colomiers et Valence, could be Provence. Unlikely to be Agen.
Could be one of these two, but in Brive's case, they're going to have to turn the ship around and win on the road, which is something they've found very hard to do. A different team when they're at home. Same goes for Oyo, to be fair. The way they've been playing at home in recent weeks, they've been looking unbeatable. Hasn't gone all their own way this evening, but they've won the physical battle. They've won the man test this evening. There we go. Dans les yeux d'Amélie is belted out by the brass section. Such a tune. Such a tune.
Sing along with it as well.
They are.
That was a brutal pass.
We'll have to find out if it's out of copyright, because that should really be our theme tune on the channel.
I think it's on the right. Get one of your music contacts to make some sort of version of that. Sure.
You can imagine my joy. I might have mentioned this before. You can imagine my joy. I went to see some friends in the Netherlands, and they have a big carnival around February time. Like when you have they have Pancake Day in England, and then they have this big carnival, 5-day bender, and that song is a massive tune in the Netherlands as well, but in Dutch. Exactly the same tune.
Pumping your fists to it.
I was loving it.
Walking around in your... What, were you wearing a costume?
Yeah.
Get back to that again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, best rugby social costume. We did a WWF social. WWE, they call it now, don't they? The WWF.
Where did you go?
The old school ones. I went as Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's the one I went as. You had tag team drinking games, and then you got paired off in one-on-one matches. Good. And that's the game.
Boom.
Oyo go into 5th in Pro D2. They go ahead of Brive. They're looking well set for the barrage and to try and improve on that. 26-11. They had too much power. Defence was rock solid. Set piece was better. Defence was better. They weren't as free-flowing as they have been, but they didn't need to be to get the 4 points. And Kevin Le Breton, he had a brilliant performance. That man led the team well. Victor Lebas, formerly of Brive. So if you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, we will tell you when all the games are coming next week. We've got a game on Thursday night and a game on Friday night. And the game on Friday night is Mont-de-Marsan against Dax, down there in the basement. 2 teams staring at relegation potentially, and a fierce local rivalry. So yeah, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll get the interviews post-match.
Ça a été un gros combat ce soir. Qu'est-ce qui nous a manqué pour arriver à repartir avec des points ce soir?
What were you missing tonight?
On connaissait leur jeu, on savait qu'ils allaient beaucoup taper, les jeux au pied pression. On n'a pas forcément été hyper efficaces. On a fait des ballons qui tombaient, on les a laissés rouler. Ils ont été là sur les ballons, ils ont eu plus de rebonds, ils ont forcé le rebond. Bravo à eux. Maintenant, après nous, on vise plus haut que les performances. Je ne sais pas combien de fautes on a fait, mais...
Sorry guys, I heard a robot voice for the last 30 seconds.
Ça à la vidéo, mais
and now he's talking about themselves. How about us? We've got to be more efficient in what we do and everything we do.
On a une bonne dynamique et tout ça, mais bon, voilà, bravo à Oyonnax.
C'est vrai que c'est une fin de
I'm
série.
not too worried about tonight. We're on a good dynamic. We're on a good sequence of victories. We can carry on going forward.
De continuité, on va dire, dans l'engagement. Il y a un meilleur état d'esprit à Brive ces dernières semaines.
Ouais, complètement. On s'est dit dans les vestiaires en début de match.
Yeah, so saying we weren't missing
pour
commitment
venir se faire chier ici.
tonight. We had a team that was very committed.
Voilà, le résultat, il est qu'on a perdu. On n'a pas mis la manière en plus dans l'engagement. Parce qu'à 13-0 à la mi-temps, on se dit que voilà, on peut réimpulser et finalement on le fait pas. Donc c'est dommage, on va bosser sur ça.
So half time they're talking about being 13 points behind. They're actually only 10 points behind. But at half time they're talking about that. And saying we think we can get ahead in the second half. Let's go for it. We didn't manage to do it.
Kevin Le Breton qui porte les stigmates de ce combat acharné ce soir. Bravo pour la victoire, Kevin. Ça a piqué, on le voit sur votre visage, mais il a fallu du caractère pour aller chercher cette victoire.
Oui,
So well done for the victory.
Oui, il fallait du caractère. C'est une
That
équipe
must
qui est très
have
forte
been
devant.
something we see it on your
Je pense
face.
que ça s'est vu, ça tapait très fort au milieu du terrain. Voilà, le
So
thème c'était
firstly,
le
the
bras de
forwards
fer,
did a great job.
pas craquer.
They were hitting
Je
hard
pense
in
que
midfield.
on a plutôt bien fait
The
ce
arm
match-là.
wrestle part of the
C'est
game
une bonne
was
opération
something
dans
we
la
dealt with.
course à la qualification parce que Agen vous avez mis la pression hier. C'est quoi la
It's great for your
principale
qualification.
satisfaction de la soirée?
Oh, je pense que d'avoir gagné tout
Big
simplement.
satisfaction
On regarde pas
you
trop
have
ce qui se
tonight.
fait à côté,
To
on va dire.
have
On se
won.
concentre sur nous. On savait que c'était un
Simply
gros
to
match
have won.
aujourd'hui pour un concurrent direct. On savait que si on
We're going
perdait
to
à la
concentrate on
maison,
ourselves.
on avait vraiment la pression.
If we'd lost
On a
here
gagné,
at home,
c'est bien.
Et pourquoi pas aller chercher un barrage à
but
domicile parce que
it
vous
would have
revenez à
been
4 points
difficult
finalement ce soir.
qualification, but we won. So what?
Ouais, peut-être, je sais pas, je connais pas le classement. Et c'est pas moi qui m'en occupe de ça.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, he doesn't know what the class one is. He doesn't worry about that. Just worries about what they're doing. Sorry, guys, I was missing chunks of that. Went robot-esque. But we got
no
the gist.
worries at all, Joe. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And we're here all the way through to the very end. Here comes a little promo. Just a little note, I think that's the 21st of May. We'll get that changed, but some banging matches are coming your way on FR UK.
Mako, how old is Mako? It's older.
Au sol, les jouer là, s'il vous plaît.